us to that place. So I know it may be a little bit of a drive. But friends, you don't go to church because it's convenient. You go to church because God's called you there. You go to church because God's put it on your heart to attend that. And friends, let me tell you, this facility, it's going to be something you're going to be proud of. It's going to be something you're going to bring your relatives and friends to, your co-workers to, and say, come see where I go to church. It's going to have the best of everything. Amen. And so let's talk about this facility. If you can put it up on the screens for me. This is our new home. How many of you got this when you came in? You can see it gives the target date for summer 2011. So around this time next year, we will be in our new facility. I tell you what, I'm excited about it. Jay, you can take the same screen you had before. We're going to use a laser pointing here. Here you can see, let me find the front of this thing. Here you can see the facility. Now this is phase one. Everyone say phase one. I believe if there's anybody who ought to be a good steward of money, it ought to be the church. Because we're not just handling money, we're handling God's money. And so we ought to be good stewards. Now I've said this before, but it bears repeating. Many churches, when they go into building drives, they build more off of bravado than they do understanding. Meaning they want to brag about how many you can see, the square footage, and really it's just pride. Instead of building off of understanding and the Spirit of the Lord leading them on how to build. And because of that, building drives can be taxing for churches. You see people leave churches in the middle of building drives because it's taxing. It's taxing on the pastor. It's taxing on the people. And the reason why it's so taxing is the majority of the time, people are trying to build bigger than they should. They're building off of pride and bravado than understanding of the will of the Lord. And so what we're doing is we're building a building that's bigger than this one. But not only that, we're building it also small enough that we can still run multiple services in it. I don't know about you, but I'm just a firm believer. If this thing is going to cost me $8 to $10 million, I mean probably 12 by the time you add up all the money my father spent on it, to get in, we ought to use it more than just once a week. Amen. We ought to use it at least like we're doing now, 2 services on Sunday, Wednesday night. And in fact, when we get in this thing, I'd like to go to 3 services. I'd like to have a service on Saturday night, maybe around 5:30, and then 2 on Sunday morning, 9 o'clock and 10:45. And I believe we'll be able to do that, but we'll be led. And so I can't make any promises. Suffice to say, I promise to follow the Spirit of God. But we're going to use it multiple times. We're going to keep our 9 o'clock and 10:45 services for sure, and we may have another one. We'll see on that Saturday night around 5:30. But either way, this is phase one of really a 3-phase, not building, but 3-phase campus out there on Lakeland Drive on those 45 acres. You can see the first phase here. We designed it off several things. Like I said, one, I wanted to do it with good stewardships. Like I said, this thing will probably cost anywhere between 10 to 12 total once you factor in the money my father invested. And we only owe $3 million on it today. That's all we owe is $3 million. That's all we will owe. Now, why do I say that? I say that because if you've attended here, how often have you heard me mention this building project? I've never had to beg for money. I've never had to arm twist for money. I never will have to. Because as long as we all just do what God's told us to do, we'll have more than enough money to do whatever God's called us to do. And so with that, it's been light and easy. A light and easy building program. We've grown since we started it here. I mean, it's amazing to see the goodness of God in the land of the living. So we'll have this thing paid off fast, and then I'd like to jump over into phase 2 within 3 to 5 years of occupying this. Well, let's talk about phase 1. You can see that there are multiple tower-like features. I got this because I like the Renaissance. Anyone seen the Renaissance out there? I like the towered entrances and the multiple entryways, and so we took that from that. The main kind of tower is called the Rotunda, and it's right here. The peak of this thing is 5 stories tall, to give you an idea of the breadth of this facility. 5 stories tall is tall. It's a lot taller than this facility. And so the peak of it will be about 5 stories tall with multiple entryways. Here you have a main entryway here, the main covered drive-through here, a children's entrance, and then back on this side, another children's entrance that has an overhang. In fact, let's go over to the floor plan, and we'll show this to you real quick, and then we'll switch back over. You can see all of these green type areas. I forgot I'm using that. I won't get you confused there. You can see all of these green type entryway areas. All in here. Those are all entryways. Basically, I did this for multiple reasons. The first and foremost reason, the one I'll mention today, is just ease of use. The parking lot goes around like this on this facility. And so I wanted it to be able to where if you have children, you can park on this side. And when you park there, you can come in through this entryway or this entryway and immediately drop off your kids, either in children's church, nursery, or preschool. This facility, if you had children, you have to come in, go upstairs, wait in line, go down that hall, pick up the kids, walk back down the stairs, come out. This one, literally, you walk in, either here or here, check in your kids here or here, then walk immediately into the sanctuary. And then after church is over, you walk out of the sanctuary, pick them up, pick up your kids here or here, and then exit out and go right to your car. Ease of use. Everyone say ease of use. Ease of use. So we have multiple entryways all along the facility to provide that ease of use for us. Now let's go back into the other picture that was just up there, and we'll explain some of the details. Like I said, the exterior of the building, we want it to be classical yet modern. I wanted it to not look too much like a church for multiple reasons. I'll give you a very practical one. If you're a businessman, you can understand this. If you build a church like this church that looks like a church, when you get ready to sell it, I'm not saying we'll ever sell this, but anyway, if you get ready to sell it, you can only sell it to churches. That dramatically decreases your resale value. Why? Because there are probably maybe 3-4 churches in the Jackson Metro that could afford this place, much less that place. And so it dramatically decreases your potential resale. But if you divide it up like a mall type thing with multiple entryways that lead into big spaces, then your resale value, you can sell it to anyone. Anyway, that's a practical reason why we did it like we did it. But anyway, you can see here that all along the building, here and here, all the way across it, all along the bottom of it is stone. Real nice, like Italian type stone. All right there, it's going to look great. Your